Venison Night, we're celebrating the members.
I'm welcoming you to that 19th annual Venison Appreciation Night. 19 years ago, this thing started over in the Walker House. That makes it about, well, if I could do my math, sometime around 1992, I guess. I haven't been to all of them. I don't know if anybody in the room has been to all of them. Have you been to all of them? And Bruce, maybe, and Bill's been to all of them. Darby Carter, who canceled at the last minute, his wife, part of the Mobley family, were at all of them. But so now we're down to a crowd of only 150 people, which is the largest crowd we had. When this thing started, there were more deer on the island than there were people attending VAN. Now we're not quite so sure what the ratio is. But I want to thank, as a member of the Deer Management Committee, I want to thank you all for coming and supporting our program. And my part of this evening is now done, and I'm going to turn it over to Chris Marsh.
I have not eaten anything yet, so this will be very short. I just want to take this opportunity on behalf of the Spring Island Trust to acknowledge the important role that the Deer Management Committee has. I've been doing some checking, and I think everybody here on Spring Island understands what happens when your deer herd becomes too large. They not only turn around and eat the plants that people have planted in their yards, but they do major damage to the habitat. And so in other communities, they have to hire somebody and they pay per deer. And the going rate right now is about $500 per deer removed. So if you were looking at this, I think our budget would be about $22,000 to $25,000 for deer management. So I feel very good when we have a budget of about $3,000 per year for deer management. And so with this though, we do a win-win because not only are we managing the deer herd as far as removing deer, but we follow quality deer management practices, which also helps work to improve the health of the herd. And so with that, one of the things that you may hear about, it's always interesting, you know that game you go in a circle and you start saying something and see what it is at the end? Well, then add alcohol, and it gets really interesting. And so some of the things you may hear at cocktail parties is, oh, well, they're just not getting any deer this year, or, you know, whatever, the size of the deer, etc. Because we're trying to manage our herd at a certain level, you'll see the numbers vary dramatically from year to year. We put out a hit list and really asked the deer management team to hit the deer hard several years ago, and they were very successful. And so this year, they're able to be more selective, not have to take as many deer. We always alternate years when we get heavy acorn crops, then that'll also make some variations. So when you hear that so far, they're probably going to take between 45 and 50 deer this year. That's fine. 2 years ago, they took 105. All right, so don't be surprised when you hear these numbers varying some. And one of the things that's critical to our deer management program is having good leadership. We actually have outstanding leadership because one of the co-founders of the Quality Deer Management Association is Joe Hamilton, and he has continued to be the deer biologist and consultation for Spring Island since before there was even a bridge, practically. So we're very, very fortunate to continue to have Joe here. Joe, we've made a donation to the Quality Deer Management Association again this year on your behalf. And so what I'd like to do now is turn the mic over to Joe, who will talk very briefly about the program and also about the Trillium Buck Award.
How many of you had some backstrap? I hope you enjoyed it. I had the fortune of coming over here, as Chris said, before the bridge was joining Kalawasi and Spring, and I had a great relationship with Gordon Mobley, and he said, Bo, things are about to change. We're going to build a bridge, and a lot of people are coming. And I'm not sure if all of them are hunters. So that's okay. We've got two things to do. We've got way too many deer here. We need to have one big hunt, and we did. Made the newspaper. But we've got our deer density down in one fell swoop to a manageable level. The other thing we did, we started this Venison Appreciation Night 19 years ago. And it was designed to bring everybody together, those that hunt and those that don't hunt. So you can all enjoy the spoils of the strike. So nothing goes to waste. So we want you to be able to come to this event and understand that we're monitoring the deer population with spotlight surveys. We weigh each deer, we age each deer. We monitor the average weights per age class for bucks and for does. So this is not a fly-by-night operation. We're watching it very closely, but as Chris says, even the best you can do, you're still going to see ups and downs, and Mother Nature's up there pouring out a bounty of acorns. You put out corn, the deer snub that, go to the acorns at night, so they don't get harvested in equal numbers every year. That doesn't mean that the hunters are not any better one year than the next, or that there are more deer one year than the next. That's just the up and down you have to live with. But also, years ago, we were looking for a way to pay tribute, number one, to the best buck of the year taken the year before. That's what this is all about. That's one of our best monitors. The other is to pay tribute to the program that produced it, and that's the Quality Deer Management Program. And then finally, to recognize the hunter who was the lucky person to be last to cross paths with this buck. But it's at this occasion, and we don't know who, but if this buck that is getting the Trillium Buck Award tonight was 4.5 years old, one of these hunters passed him up last year at 3.5, the year before at 2.5, the year before at 1.5 the year before that didn't shoot him as a button buck. So they're unknown, but let's give those unknown hunters a round of applause. That's how we shoot larger bucks. We feed them well by keeping the competition for food down, and we put some age on them. That's what Quality Deer Management is all about. We as an organization were born here in the Low Country 25 years ago. Starting in January, we'll begin our 25th anniversary in the year 2013. We're international now. We're leaning harder and harder toward our youth. We've just developed a youth program, and that obviously is our future. And that's where our efforts and our monies are going to be going in the future. To keep these kids coming on board and staying active in the outdoor sport. So just wanted to give you an idea about that. So let me read what's on this plaque. Printed large enough, I think I can see my glasses in my pocket. It says the Trillium Buck of 2011, a tribute to Spring Island's Quality Deer Management Program, and in recognition of the hunter. And this is the first time, two first times. It's the first time anyone has gotten this Trillium Buck Award twice, and it's the first time anybody has gotten it back to back. They got it last year. So if Bob Boslet will come forward.
And then I made a hunting themed cake and tried to make it completely edible, where the hunting tent and the rocks and the water and the trees, everything is edible. There's a chocolate sheet cake underneath. The first thing I did is I made a cake for Mr. Andrews from a magazine that he told me about. There's a cake in there. So as a surprise, I made him that. And it's a brown sugar pear pistachio cake with ginger buttercream. The second thing I did is I did an outdoor theme of deer running. This is just a simple yellow classic cake with buttercream frosting and fondant.